Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul,
I'm Dave.
and this week we're discussing the episode Through the Looking Glass. This episode originally aired May 15th, 2001, attracting approximately 5.18 million viewers. Alrighty, so number one movie in America this week, Dave. Any guesses? It's a big one.
That narrows it down. Again, around that year.
I'll narrow it down even some more. It's animated.
Again, damn, nothing's really coming to mind. I can immediately think of.
I'm shocked that this only had 1 week as number one, but with 42,347,760 dollars in its opening weekend, number one movie in America is Shrek.
Yeah, that's a little surprising that it only managed the 1 week.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, this is a banger of a summer, so like it's followed up by a bunch of huge movies.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe the real explosion of it didn't really happen until Shrek 2, and they were kind of like, oh my gosh, this is the thing.
I feel like Shrek 1 was massive, but like I said, like this is like a crazy good summer.
Yeah.
Anyway, number one song in America this week.
Hmm.
I'll give you a hint. It hasn't changed since last week. It's still All For You by Janet Jackson.
On the one hand, just mild sadness. It also doesn't surprise me, though.
Alrighty, and for video games. So May 16th, the day after this episode aired, Giga Wing 2 on the Dreamcast came out, which I've never heard of. But it's like a side-scrolling, vertical-scrolling shooter arcade game that I guess got ported over to the Dreamcast.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay.
Uh,
Somewhat vaguely familiar with the style of those ones.
yeah.
Again, nothing that I know of.
Also on May 16th, also on the Dreamcast, Project Justice, also known as Project Justice Rival Schools 2. I'm not sure what this is, but it looks to be... Oh, it's like a 3D fighting game on the Dreamcast. I'm unfamiliar with it.
Uh,
On May 18th, if you were in the mood for something a little bit different, on Windows, you could pick up Atlantis the Lost Empire Trial by Fire, which is based off of the movie.
I believe the Disney movie, right?
Yeah, the Disney animated film, yeah.
Ah, yes.
And, I'm sorry, I shouldn't make these kind of noises, but, oh.
You have me decently curious what is happening.
May 21st on the PS2. Now, I know this isn't the best one, but I don't care because it's still good. On the PS2, we got a little game called Cool Borders 2001. Do you remember the Cool Borders series at all?
I don't even think I've even touched it before.
Oh, there were these. The first few were really good snowboarding games on the PlayStation One, but then it kind of got outdone by like SSX and stuff later on.
Hmm.
They were a ton
Yeah.
of fun though. At least I remember them being a ton of fun. Granted, like I haven't played these games in like over 20 years at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
Ugh.
Like, aside from the one or two particular snowboarding games and or when a Mario Party or some other particular thing did it, yeah, it wasn't too much.
It was oh, it was good. Anyway, let us move on to the episode. So, Angel, Wesley, and Gunnar are shocked to see Cordelia has been crowned Princess of Pylea. She jokingly demands their heads be cut off, but quickly restates herself. After she dismisses the guards, Cordelia recounts how she became princess due to her visions. Lauren confirms that his people have been waiting for one cursed with a sight that will save them all. She is the Messiah.
Yeah, that won't completely go to her head, I'm sure.
Nope, not at all. Lauren takes Angel to his family's house, where Lauren's cousin Landog identifies Angel as a hero. Angel is made the special guest of their upcoming village feast. He tells stories to the people of Pylea while Lauren is ignored. Landog offers Angel the honor of swinging the Krebil, or Krabal, I don't remember how in the Bacchanal. And Angel agrees to take part before he learns that it means beheading a human so that the people of Pylea can feast on it. Winifred, Fred, Burkle, is brought forth, but Angel refuses to kill her. The two are able to make an escape when Lauren begins to sing, causing severe pain to the Pyleans.
You know, one of the other main reasons why he left. The thing he absolutely loves causes pain to everyone that he knows.
I love how I think it's his mom who's like grabbing her ears, and she's like, "It burns, it burns." It's very good. While perusing the castle library, Wesley discovers the cursed one will have to perform something called a comshock with a grusalog. That sounds disgusting. He considers asking the priest to translate the book until he realizes that it is part of a trilogy marked with three animals: the
Not a
wolf. Sorry,
not a trilogy. It's three books that are
it's
all
yeah, it's like a
separate to this
trip.
one book.
It's like one book has like the first part of a passage, then it goes to the second book, then the third book, and so on and
Yes.
so forth. I was trying to make it
Yes.
simpler, Dave.
Well, that's not the thing. This it's
I
that's
know what
how
you're saying. It's not accurate, but anyway, marked with three animals: the wolf, the ram, and the hart. Dun dun
so
dun.
head slap and oh god.
Linking the priests to the evil law firm back in Los Angeles. Silas, one of the priests, arrives to inform Cordelia that the Grusalug has been summoned and that the Comshock is a mating ritual. Told you it was disgusting. Wesley, Gunn, and Cordelia try to escape through a sewer tunnel, but Cordelia is caught by the priests and dragged back to her throne. Heavily guarded, Cordelia worries about mating with the demon until Silas introduces the Grusalug, who is a handsome and muscular young male, and Cordelia all of a sudden is a little more open to this.
Oh, the fact that he looks human, but it's just basically one of those particular people that supposedly looks human.
Yeah, it looks, he's not technically full human, he's part human.
Hmm.
Yeah. Fred leads Angel to a cave where she has been staying for a long while. Fred talks nervously as she crazily scribbles on the cave walls. Angel finds Fred's driver's license and realizes that she is the girl from Cordy's vision. She doesn't believe him when he tells her of life in LA and how she got to Pylea because it has been so long, and she doesn't want to believe. Angel is attacked by guards as he tries to lead Fred to the castle, and when he tries to shift into his vampire-ness, instead he becomes a pure demon and brutally rips through the guard's body with his supersized teeth. The other runs, and Angel takes off as well, leaving Fred frightened and alone. Wesley and Gunn wander lost until the demon Angel attacks them. It takes a while before Wesley can recognize Angel's tattoo. A short distance away, Fred coats her hand in blood and is able to lure Angel away from his friends with the smell. Demon Angel sees his reflection in the water at Fred's cave and is suddenly motivated to switch back to human form. Gunn and Wesley are surrounded and tied up by rebels who want to send a message to the castle. Gunn and Wesley try to convince the rebels that they know the princess and suggest that they could use them to contact her. The rebels agree, but their idea involves decapitation. Well, I mean, most good ideas do. Fred comforts Angel as he painfully deals with the aftermath of being controlled by the demon inside of him. He concludes that his friends saw what he really was and he can never go back to them. The Grusalog tells Cordelia that his human qualities make him unappealing to his people, so he battled with demons to end his existence. But after defeating them, he earned a name for bravery and strength. Lauren is brought before Cordelia for judgment, and he is almost sentenced to death, but Cordelia pardons him and then kicks him out so that she can be alone with her future mate. Cordelia explains to the Grusalug that she is not a princess, but he doesn't believe her because of what he was told. Silas tells his fellow priests that the princess has requested papers so that she can write proclamations and do good for Pylea. He doesn't like the fact that she has not taken part in the Comshock yet. Cordelia's proclamation writing is interrupted by Silas, who brings forth a large platter and orders Grusalug out of the room. He he tells her and He tells her she and the Gruslug are just tools and she will do what she is told. Cordelia refuses to accept this until she is shocked into silence as Silas reveals Lauren's head displayed on the platter. Dun dun dun.
You know, the best way to end an episode with a severed head.
Yes, well, I mean, it is. So, what did you think of this episode, Dave?
Oh boy. Just continuing on the whole track of, oh man, just all the particular things here in Palia. And just, oh man, all those particular priests and whatnot related to Wolfram and Hart. And just, oh.
Yes. So, yeah, I quite enjoy this episode. It's setting up, obviously, what's going to happen next in the next episode. Here's a fun little trivia note for you. So, do you remember Lauren's brother Numfar, who does the dance?
Yes, yes.
Do you know who that is?
That particular person? No.
Here's a fun little trivia note for you. That's actually Joss Whedon.
Oh, okay. And he's just going ahead and doing the dance.
Yeah, apparently he wanted it to be a surprise, so he had his makeup done in a separate trailer to surprise everyone.
Oh, there you go.
And apparently this was like one of the most time-consuming episodes for the makeup department because they had to do the green makeup on like a whole bunch of extras and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was a particular moment around when Angel transformed into a demon and attacked the two guards when they were being chased. That either just with the scene and whatnot, they skimped a little bit on some of the makeup on some of the particular characters, mostly because they were wearing helmets. But
Oh yeah,
in other sorts of cases, yeah, pretty much everyone had to be in some kind of makeup for all that particular sort of stuff.
yeah. It's oh my god. Anyway,
And
so
I think just one last little thing on that sort of
absolutely.
note, the one little thing that niffed me with the past couple episodes and a bit within this one was sort of Angel's obsession with himself, with how he sort of looked, with bypassing vampire rules a little bit within this world of he can be able to stand out in the sun, but more so that he can actually see his reflection, and that after all these eons and whatnot, he's kind of like, God, did my hair always look like this? It's like, Angel, it's fine. But
I kind of like that though because it's like it's the thing of him like having this very like human moment.
a little bit, but then it more so came back to the point of when he was a demon and saw himself in the reflection of the water, giving him that urge to transform back and all the case from that. So it was something that I feel like, oh, this is going to irk me so much, but sort of swung back to, okay, they had a point to it. I can understand it now.
Yeah, I quite I think it's fun. It's also quite funny, and they're quite good at
Mm.
putting those moments in and paying them off later.
Mm.
Alrighty, so for international titles, unfortunately, we only have two for this week. So in French, it's Her Majesty Cordelia, which is pretty good, I will admit. But in German, it translates as A Throne for Cordelia, which
There.
I kind of. I mean, technically, she got the throne last episode, just saying.
Despite how much, even from last week, was kind of the case of it matches so much, but ugh, I don't like it. Just, yeah, with the English titles and whatnot for it works fairly well. They try. They at least keep with the episode in most cases.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, none of them are terribly bad. Some of the Buffy ones, especially early on, I remember being really weird. But anyway,
Mm.
so if there's nothing else, next week we will be discussing the final episode of season 2. There's no place like Plurt's Glurb. Are you worried, David?
Not specifically. It'll be interesting to kind of see from there. It's just it's just either going right past my head or I'm just not getting the joke.
It's a playoff of There's No Place Like Home.
Okay with that. I was concerned that the particular flirts blurb was just mixed up word for something or
No, no.
other particular
It's
thing
just
for
because
that.
in the Pylian language they don't use vowels.
Right, that was one thing that they discussed in there.
Yes. So, season 2 begins with them. The finale will begin with them still stranded in Pylea. Lauren has been beheaded, as we know, by the priests, but is alive as long as his body is intact. He and Cordelia, crown princess of Pylea, due to her precognitive visions, will try to escape the castle. Angel struggles to regain his humanity after his experience with his true demon form, while Wesley and Gunn lead the human rebels in a revolt against the demon ruling class.
Again, interesting, but I guess even more so convenient. Case that he can be decapitated and he can still be alive.
Yeah, I mean it. I mean, obviously they can't. They're not going to kill Lauren off here because he's too big of he's too important of a character.
No, when I sort of saw that happen, it's like, okay, there are stakes to this story. Alrighties.
Oh, also, we're going to have a special guest star next week. A special guest appearance. Any idea who might pop up? What character?
Most likely someone from the Buffy cast, kind of keeping with it.
Yep.
I think maybe like the safest bet for traveling purposes or kind of keeping with things would probably be Willow because she's been seen in a past episode before.
Yes, so Willow will make an appearance at the end of the season.
Hmm.
And when we get into the next episode, actually, you know what? I'll talk about it here. Do you know when this season takes place in relation to Buffy? Like what Buffy season would be ending at the same time?
With this one, I can't remember specifically which season it would count as, but I think around the time that would have been around the time that I believe Dawn was a character within Buffy.
Yes, so this season would be ending at the same time as Buffy season 5.
Okay.
Now, do you remember what happens in Buffy season 5?
I'm not sure if I got this mixed up, but if I was right with Dawn being more so of a character, I believe this is the season where Buffy uh, gives her gift that the Slayer once told her about of death.
Yeah, yeah, it's the one where Buffy dies. Well, the
Yeah.
second time she died. Yes, so that will obviously play a role in the next episode. So until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.